It started in over 250 years ago in England. A halfpenny hatch in London was an officer in the Royal Dragoon Regiment in London, and he used to kind of give demonstrations of horse and trick riding in fields and parks around London. And he decided to make it better. So at that time there were still acrobats and jugglers going around castles and village green, and he combined the two together, and that was the first circus as we know it today. We're entertaining people, and that's what it's all about. And it always will be popular.
I think the circus is somewhere where you can relax, forget about your problems, you know, and I think that's what makes it more interesting for what we call normal people.
Norman Barrett, ringmaster at Zippo Circus. Born in York, live in Blackpool. My father was a farmer, sold the farm, joined a circus, and I came along, so I've only ever been in show business. I don't just do circus, I do pantomimes and cabaret, and I used to do a lot of television in the 70s and 80s, and Circus World Championships and things like that. So I've now been here 12 years.
My name's Jermaine Delbosque. I'm a foot juggler, so I juggle with my feet on a motorbike. I was born in London, but I grew up in France because my parents took me over to France when I was about 3, and I went to school over there. My dad's French and my mum's English, so I got a bit of both worlds. I worked the first time with Zippo in 2006. And then last year, and then this year again.
My name is Emilion Delbosque, and I am one of the part of the clowns of Zippo Circus. Well, I've only started this year, so we did the Christmas show in Hyde Park. I have been in many circuses before, started from the age of 5, so from there on, every season's been a different circus. I didn't really join because my family's been in it for 10 generations. So I was born in it, and they gave me the choice to either do circus or something else, you know, in normal life.
My name's David Hibbling. I'm Zippo's artistic director. I've put every show together, every touring season for the last 16 years, and every Christmas show for them as well. When I was 4 years old, I told my mother I was going to run away and join a circus and be a circus ringmaster, and that was a long time ago. And when I was 16, I joined a circus, and I've been in the circus ever since. I was an animal trainer for a long time, circus ringmaster, and now artistic director.
My name's Jackie Armstrong. I'm an aerial artist. I do cloud swing this year. This is my 5th year doing circus. I've done a year at like a training school, and then I've been working here ever since. I've always liked performing. I've done a degree in theatre studies first. And then I was just looking into different types of performing because theatre was a bit too posh for me. So I wanted to do something a bit different.
I am Martin Burton, and I am the founder and the director of Zippo Circus. I'm probably the only person on the circus who actually, my workload slows down when the performance is on, because much of my work is dealing with people's day-to-day problems. All the artists and all the crew come to me with all their problems, and they expect me to solve them.
Best thing is, I would say, it's nice because it's like a big family thing. It's 24/7. We see each other all the time. Okay, we have our different caravans. Everybody has their own life, but it's like we're always together and everybody helps each other. So that's a good thing, and it's nice traveling all the time. And the bad side to that is that you can't always have the same doctor, you can't always have the same hairdresser. I've gained, I think, many things. I mean, you learn to be independent, I think, and to have a lot of friends around you, to meet many people, many important people.
Experience, you know, through the families, through my family anyway. We know what the circus is. We know what the inside and the outsides are. You know, we know everything about circus. So benefit now
we love it. We do.
You know, okay, it is a job. Yes, we do get paid for it. You know, but it's just our life. That's what it is. You know, we do it because it's our passion, and we love it.
We love it.
I mean, no, that was one. Of course, it was a special experience. Going to get the MBE, another special experience. Being a kind of a subject on This Is Your Life, that was also very special. In America, doing shows for Paul Newman and people like that. Yeah, they're all special things. Many, many special things. You don't always kind of click into them at the time. They happen. Then kind of weeks down the line, that was really good. I like it all. I like it all the way through. Yeah, the bad things are windy nights when there's a lot of wind around and the tent's blowing around. That can be dangerous. That's a worry. But normally, there's no great. For me, there's no great problems.
The best thing is just being able to bring entertainment to people who don't expect it. So they come in usually with very low expectations of the circus because people don't understand what we do. And when they see what we do, they're totally blown away. And they treat us in a completely different way when they understand actually that what's going on inside that tent is very important. The worst thing for me is the last day of the season. I hate the end of the season because I hate it. I love creating it and I hate closing it. What I've gained is immense. The pleasure and the friends and what I've learned from dealing with people from all over the world. It's a great world out there, and it's full of interesting people who you shouldn't shoot, kill and maim, but you should befriend, and they're lovely people.
Stressful? It depends the person. It is stressful when you have to travel a lot and you've got big journeys, and if you break down or something like that, then it is stressful. But I must say we do have a nice life. The first show is always stressful. You get all the nerves. You always have that little beat in your heart that before the first show, even in the day. Second one's a bit more relaxed because you've already done one. But I mean, the first day is very stressful. So make sure everything works out how it's supposed to be. There's quite a few things to be done, but I think we'll get there. We always do, so.
No, I mean, I love rehearsing. If I don't rehearse, I'm more stressed if I don't rehearse, because it's part of what I do. I've rehearsed this morning with the budgies, and when I was a kid, I always used to rehearse every morning with the horses, because I used to with my dad. And it's part of my life, and part of what I enjoy to do. I don't really get stressed with it. I get a bit concerned when rehearsals and it's not going right. Of course, that's normal. But, you know, to every solution there's a problem. The problem is trying to find a solution.
Well, for comedy, a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to find new things, to find original things, to make sure things work properly. I do a particular routine that you'll see later on. Where I take people out of the audience, I make them do things, I'm filming them and stuff like this. So that routine took me about 2 years to get it to what I wanted, really. So it takes a lot of time.
The creative process is never stopped. It's ongoing. We think, I dream, I see things, I file them away back there somewhere, and then we draw on them and use them when we need to. My job is mega stress, and the only way to survive it is to learn how not to be stressed. So I don't let this shit stress me out. I chill all the time, leave it, keep it, and handle each problem as it comes along. If you let it get to you stress-wise, you wouldn't last 5 minutes. The mums come to the circus and look at the muscular acrobats and think, if I hadn't married this old fat slob, I could be here with him. And the dads come to the circus and look at the pretty girls and think, if I hadn't married that old cow, I could be here with them. None of it is true. They couldn't actually give up their lives. It's very difficult to run away to the circus. I know that better than most people. But It's the dream that we're selling for the 2 hours that they're in the circus.
If I wasn't in the circus, I think I'd like to be a beautician. But I like all stage makeup for theatres and things like that. I love makeups like for the show. Well, not for everybody, no. I do try and help some people sometimes, but like mostly for my daughter and for me, yes. Well, we always try and get to see our friends. Like mostly we make friends as we're traveling along. And we do have friends, yes, like I have friends back in France, and when I get time, I go back home. We do have time off, which would be like normally January, February. That's our time where it's no work at all. I'd love to carry on. I mean, you have to love it to do it. It's something that if you don't have it in your heart, then it's better to forget it. But I think that if I would stop, it would be something about health, or I would have to stop because I wouldn't be able to do it anymore, yeah.
But because you are travelling, you often meet up with people that you haven't seen for ages by virtue of travelling. But yes, it's very difficult for some people to form relationships, like a lover or something, with someone not from circus, because it's such a different lifestyle.
I'd probably be a stuntman or something like this, because I like movies and I like stuff like that, so I would probably go into that side of it, really.
I would always be an entertainment, but I hate the day when I can't, the thing of the day when I can't do it, and I can't do either the shows or be involved in it. Well, I'll know when I can't do it. I'll be the decider of that, you know, or when you can't get work or whatever. But as long as I can do it, I want to do it, because yeah, it's we all say this is a way of life, and it's a way of life I like and I enjoy doing. You know, I mean, it's not. I don't consider it hard work. You know, I spend a lot of time standing watching everything going on, and you know, but it doesn't bother me in any way.
Have always loved the circus. I used to come to the circus here in Oxford, actually, as a very young child. But now, this is, for me, the greatest job in the world. I wake up in the morning and I'm really, really happy to be going to do another day's work in the circus. I work very hard in the circus. I'm generally at my desk by 6 in the morning, and I generally don't finish until 11 at night. And it doesn't worry me at all. I have no retirement plan. I want to carry on doing this until I drop.
Oh yeah, I mean, I suppose a lot of people think this is a kind of if you want to say a gypsy element to it, but I mean, there's no gypsy element at all. But I mean, and we've got very good gypsy friends as well. I mean, you know, we are kind of nomadic tribe. As I said, yeah. I mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, circus," but not anymore. It's all changed now. They come in, they're looked after properly. You know, you've seen the facilities yourself, and there's no great problem with it. It doesn't bother me. There's good and bad wherever you go.
We have to come in the dead of night without annoying people. We have to go in the dead of night and leave it clean and tidy and not messed up. And then everybody just thinks, oh, that was nice. The public always misjudges them. They misjudge us because they think we're gypsies, which we're clearly not. We're a travelling circus, for sure, but we're not gypsies. They assume that we are uneducated and uncouth because we're in the circus. There's an awful lot of people here with degrees. But that's partly created by the circus itself. We aren't famous for letting people understand us. Some people are afraid of what they don't understand. And they assume that we're gypsies, and they assume that we're dirty, and they assume that we're thieves. And therefore, we make it harder for ourselves because we have to try very, very hard not to be considered gypsies. So, for example, everybody knows that they may not hang their washing out to dry on a show day. Washing hanging out of a caravan says to Joe Public, gypsy, so we don't do it. It does make it difficult for these people because very often every day is a show day, so how they're going to wash their stuff, it is hard, I agree. But we have to be amazingly careful that we leave the ground, the park, wherever we are, in the pristine condition that we receive it in. We have to be amazingly careful that whenever we interact with the public or officials, we do so on an uber polite level, because they expect the worst of us, and the only way we can combat that is to be much better than they expect.
Excellent, excellent. But circus life is... I've never experienced anything like circus. It's not a job, it's a way of life. You live circus. You travel for 40 weeks of the year with the same community which you rely on for everything, basically. There's little association with the outside world, if you like. And so community, by and large, is very, very good in circus. And I also find circus people are very accepting. Providing you're good circus, there is no barrier regarding age, colour, sexual orientation, religion. I've seen Jewish people work alongside Muslims, there's gay, straight people in the community, and a woman can earn as much as a guy can in the circus. There's no barrier or discrimination as long as you're good circus. And just, you know, it's like, this is our home, the tent's our home. If tonight suddenly there was a huge storm, everyone would be out to make sure the tent was safe or the animals were safe, because without that we don't earn any money. There's no subsidy in circus, apart from some of the avant-garde circuses. The traditional circus doesn't receive any state funding at all. We only rely on bums on seats and ticket sales, so that's why my job to put a good show on is very important.
Everybody tries to help each other. There's no difference between artist or somebody that's building up, or no, it's everybody helps each other.
It's my family. It's in my blood. You know, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's the family. It's the family life. It's a social life. It's not a job. It's a passion. Yeah. Everyone is so, you know, together as a big family. We work together. We're, you know, bad boys for life, they say. It's keep going until you drop, really.
We're a nomadic tribe travelling around like a moving village. You live a kind of a village life. Everybody helps everybody else. Because at the end of the day, we all have to be like that. We all need each other. We all have to cooperate or help each other. That's the way the life goes. You see, when you see some of these performers in the ring, they're doing whatever they're doing. But most of them are called mechanics, electricians. They're very self-supporting people. We can do nearly anything.
Because we get to see the world.
And you don't
People
have
that
to,
got 9 to 5 jobs don't.
You don't pay. I mean, it's completely different because 9 months you work in a circus, and then we go to the family home in France, and we have, like, we call it a normal kind of family life. But it's so boring after 2 weeks. We just want to be on the road. So it's really boring.
Can't stay in one place too long.
We can't.
Work in a space that was constant. The great thing about the circus is that although the exterior may change, so the interior of the tent nevertheless remains exactly the same. There are many creative difficulties working inside a tent, but whatever they are, it's the same. So whether our tent is in Brighton, London or John O'Groats, we can creatively and artistically produce a show which is the same wherever we go. If you work here, you leave quickly. It's not a job, it's a way of life. It's a way of life which some people love and some people hate. Personally, when people come here to work, I don't even bother learning their name for the first 2 weeks, because many people don't make it past the first 2 weeks. If they do make it past the first 2 weeks, then very often they stay for life. But it simply doesn't, it's a lifestyle which simply does not appeal to everybody. The hours are long, the work is hard, and can be unbelievably hard. And the reward is that we live in our own special community. It's self-evident that there's a strong community, because if there weren't, it wouldn't work. This is a community activity. Everybody relies upon their neighbours to survive. So it's very interlinked. It is a truly international community. I mean, there is no room on the circus for racism or sexism or ageism or anything. One of the old-fashioned sayings is only judge a person by what they do in the ring. And there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, they are here to entertain in the circus, and if they do that well, then they're fulfilling their purpose. And I'm happy. Where it goes wrong is if they don't entertain well, but that's a problem we rarely have. Nobody here makes any money out of the circus. We do it because it's a way of life we love.
I have a daughter, she's 12, 13 she is. Yeah. My husband's Argentinian, we do a folklore Argentinian gaucho act. So it's like a folklore dancing with drums and percussion. So she does that with us, and she does dancing in the show as well. So. One, I would never push them towards something that I like, because like I said, you have to do it with your heart. It's not something you can push somebody to do. It's all up to her, but up to now she likes what she's doing. Of course she's got the choice, she goes to school, she has her schoolwork when we're travelling. We do try to help them towards that if they want to do it, but we can't force them to do something. For us, yes, because there's three of us, we work together, and the clown this year, we happen to be together. It's my brother with his wife.
It is, yeah, of course it is, because, you know, we've got to rehearse, and he's going to make sure that you're sitting down while we're rehearsing, you know, and he's
like
an hectic little one, so...
he doesn't stop all day.
But it is quite difficult, but I mean, yeah, we do...
You cope with it?
We cope. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
they always do.
Basically, normally he's around the back doors with us, and he's got his pushchair, he sits in his pushchair, and when we're in, then somebody will just stand there and just look after him and play around with him whilst we're working, so...
No, I take my family with me, and my friends are all here. That's the point. This is a community. People are born here, are married here, are christened here, and sadly die here. It's a community. They come with us. The circus kids tend to be outgoing. The circus kids make friends very quickly at school, because all the other kids want to be friends with the new circus kids so they can get a free ticket. The circus kids are just like every other kid, so they go to school, and even though they're in that school for only a week, they'll bring their new school friends home for tea. And of course everybody wants to come home for tea with the circus kid, you know, and see what it's like here. So they do make friends easily, but moving means that the children have to learn to communicate. So they become great communicators. Now, there may be a problem, I'm not sure, there may be a problem once you go past junior school level. The government is not doing enough to help travelling children with their O-levels and beyond. And it's so relatively easy to do, to set up an internet learning package and give the children a class teacher, albeit a virtual one. And it's a great shame that we don't do more for travelling children.
It's hectic. It's crazy. It's, you know, it's 24/7 non-stop.
Home and family, it's the way of life.
Every day's different. You can't I don't think you can pick out one moment really.
A great passion and a great love.
If you don't have it in your heart, then it's better to forget it.
Fucking fantastic.